5:30.
That's great.
All right, it's 5:30. We'll go ahead and get started with our work session for our 6 o'clock council meeting. Approval of minutes. There were no changes. Any questions? Public hearings, Resolution 24-151, approve abatement of unsafe conditions at 718 Cashin Street Northwest. Public hearing was set August 5th, 2024.
No changes.
Okay. Any questions? Resolution 24-152, approve abatement of unsafe conditions at 2913 Leesdale Avenue. Public hearing was set August 5th, 2024.
No changes.
Okay, any questions? Resolution 24-179, approve request for special event retail liquor license for the Carnegie Visual Arts Center, doing business as River Clay Fine Arts Festival, located at 207 Church Street Northeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601, on October 25th, 2024, and 402 Lee Street Northeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601, on October 26th and 27th, 2024. Any questions? Resolution 24-180, approve request for restaurant retail liquor license for Kimmy's LLC at 107 2nd Avenue Northeast, Suite A, Decatur, Alabama 35601.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 24-181, approve special use permit for T-Mobile to modify equipment on the existing tower located at 2524 Point Mallard Drive.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 24-182, accept Air Products donation for the police department. There were no changes. Any questions? Resolution 24-183, declare equipment no longer needed by various departments surplus and authorize disposal. There you are. I was looking. Any questions? Resolution 24-184, award bid number 24025 to L&L Outdoor Services for weed abatement, being the lowest responsible bidder.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 24-185, award bid number 24026 to Target Specialty Products or Mosquito Chemicals, being the lowest responsible bidder. Any questions? Resolution 24-186, award bid number 24027 for litter getters to Osprey Initiative LLC, being the lone respondent.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 24-187, approve acceptance of public use and maintenance for Glenmont Acres Phase 1, Plat Book 2023, page 24. Any questions? Resolution 24-188, approve acceptance of public use and maintenance for Glenmont Acres Phase 1.2, Plat Book 2023, page 33. Any questions? Resolution 24-189, approve acceptance of public use and maintenance for Glenmont Acres Phase 2, Plat Book 2023, page 34. You got any changes? I'm just kidding. Any questions? Resolution 24-190, approve acceptance of public use and maintenance for Kinsey Meadows Phase 1, Plat Book 2024, page 30. Any questions? All right, Resolution 24-191, accept special allocation from State of Alabama for Community Foundation for Greater Decatur Youth Entrepreneurial CEO Program.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 24-192, reclassify job classification from manager planning to director planning.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 24-193, approve vacation request 55224 for Decatur Projects LLC.
No changes.
Any questions? Resolution 24-196, approve $5,000 sponsorship for Dia de los Muertos event. Okay, any questions? All right, we'll get started at 6.
your attendance count. For him, he had a little way off.
Call the meeting to order. Alan Stover will lead us in our invocation and pledge.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, God, as we come to you today, we just thank you for everything that you do for us, God. God, we thank you for this city. God, I thank you for this state and this country, God. God, I pray that you just give us the wisdom, God, to make those decisions to make this city a better place to live. God, I pray that you give us all wisdom of Solomon, God, faith of Abraham, the courage of David, and the heart of Christ. God, be with us, lead, guide, and direct us. In Jesus Christ's holy name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Alan. Roll call.
Ladner.
Here.
McMasters. Here. Jackson. Height.
Here.
Pepper.
Here.
All right. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes.
So moved.
We'll take these all together. A motion by Mr. Pepper.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pike. Mr. Faruqi had signed in on item C.
I'm going to sign in, I think you're taking them all as one, but on item A.
Oh, it says minutes C.
Okay, on item A, there was a question by Mr. Justin Wheel from that work session. He asked, why was there no press conference from the city on the racist banners and graffiti? Did anyone respond to that?
I think we responded at the time, but as far as I know, we made some public statements, and
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to your question. So.
Do you, Mayor?
I didn't, it never came to mind.
It was in the comments from the minutes from that work
I
session.
said it never came to mind having a press conference about the banners.
Now that it's been 2020 vision, do you think that would have been a good idea?
I'm not sure.
You're what?
I'm not sure. I haven't given it any thought.
Oh, okay. That sounds right. Okay, in terms of other things that you may not have given much thought to, work session item number C, under minutes. How will the city monitor Chief Pinion's plan, Mr. Mayor?
I think that he and his citizens will be monitoring.
He and his citizens?
He and his team of community citizens, they put it together. It's not just Chief Pinion's plan.
Who else was involved in the plan? then?
I don't have their names.
Can somebody here, Mr. McMasters, provide us with a list of names who were involved in the chief's plan?
Not
From
an
his
entire list of names, no.
His citizens plan group? Who is that?
Not an entire list of names, no.
Do you have a partial list of names?
I think if they're willing to come forward, they'll come forward.
Well,
I think if they want their name
They're
publicized.
they're the one who
publicized.
designed this plan, and the question is, how will the city monitor that plan? Mayor,
I've given you an answer.
how will the city monitor that plan?
And the city will monitor other things that the chief is doing, not necessarily that plan.
So the city's not going to monitor his plan.
I said not necessarily that plan.
What will you monitor from the chief's plan?
I've given you all the answers I'm going to give you, Mr. Faruqi.
Is there a certain way you're expecting the city to monitor the plan?
Yeah, the city says they're going to, or I should say the plan says we're going to go ahead and have a communications restructuring.
Which is done, it's in the process, if not already done.
What is the status of that then?
Well, there's a young lady.
No, I'm not asking you because he should know. He's the mayor. You as a city councilman or the police liaison, somebody ought to be able to provide that answer.
Well, I was trying to provide the answer, but go ahead.
Go ahead.
You want to ask the mayor? No, if you still straight towards the mayor, let the mayor answer. Mayor, do you have an answer?
I'm not going to sit up here and let you tag up my eyes.
Okay, I'll continue my
Go
answer.
ahead.
So since you rudely interrupted me. So as the chief has got a information liaison that's in place. Her name is Irene. So her job is to handle anything with the media and things like that, right? So that's a good communication barrier right there. And then anything that he can address to the public immediately is released immediately. So as soon as it can be, right? But everything involving the police department in most cases is an investigation, right? So you don't release every single detail at every given moment in time. So they are given time to build a case against individuals that they need to build a case against, okay?
Does this look familiar to anybody, the chief's plan?
Well, I'm a little blind, so if you'd like present it up here a little, the chief's plan, that's
Yeah.
the plan, okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, that's
I'm not
what-
talking about investigations, I'm talking
Well,
about
no,
the chief's plan.
but you addressed the communication part, so I'm telling you how it's intending
So there's
on
no
addressing
change
that
to
plan.
Irene working as the police, voice of the police department?
That's her job, so why would there be?
Because
change?
the mayor says she's going to use her as a voice to the public in case there's a breakdown at the nuclear power plant.
And if there is, it's exactly who we're going to use. Yeah,
Okay, so
that's her
that's
job.
part, is that a successful plan then, Mayor?
In my opinion, absolutely.
Is that a plan?
I've given you my answers.
Okay, last thing. The checks we talked about, Mr. Jackson asked about it last meeting. Social media metrics for the $15,000 we're spending every month to Red Sage, has there been any updates to that?
Yeah, they will come present at a future meeting and give those results.
I think he asked for monthly, is that going to be a monthly update?
I don't know if he asked for that, but I'll check with him and
He
see.
did.
I don't know that they're going to come monthly, but we can provide the results monthly.
To this forum?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thank you. We do have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Pike. Pepper.
Minutes are approved 4-0. Public hearings, Resolution 24-151, approve abatement of unsafe conditions at 718 Cashin Street Northwest. Public hearing was set August 5th, 2024.
Yes, Josh Sloan, Community Development. Tree fell on this house, made contact with an heir of the property, and no action has been taken. No proposal's been brought to us. The house is still open and secure and in a state of disrepair, as you can imagine, with the tree falling on it. We just request approval to demo, move forward.
All right, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone here to speak on this item, you can speak now. Okay, seeing no one here to speak, we'll consider the public hearing closed.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper,
Second.
second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion?
Josh, is the homeowner aware that the plans on bulldozing their property?
The heir is aware.
Okay.
Yes, but we haven't heard from her or the other siblings that are heirs to the property in over a year.
Thank you.
All right, any other discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Pike. Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-151 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-152, approve abatement of unsafe conditions at 2913 Leesdale Avenue Southwest. Public hearing was set August 5th, 2024.
Yeah, so this one was condemned. It was a joint effort with Animal Services. The house was unsafe, unsanitary, and unfit for human occupancy. This was in December of 2020. We've had little to no contact with the property owner until this last Thursday. She brought us a uncompleted abatement packet. Didn't have any proposals or costs or anything. We've tried to make contact with her since. Haven't been able to get a hold of her on the phone or at the property.
All right, I think she is here, but we will, this is a public hearing, so we'll go ahead and open the public hearing. And Ms. Tucker, I believe, if you want to come forward.
Yes, sir. I was going to show some pictures on my home. It's been, everything's been updated and it's ready to be inspected. I just need a permit where I can get it inspected. But I have been in touch with him. I took him some estimates up there about how much it was going to cost and all to get my home repaired.
Okay, Josh, when's the last time we were able to inspect?
We've never been notified to come and inspect
Okay.
the home.
Okay.
Well, I've called for them to inspect it and they sent me to Jonathan or Josh.
Okay.
But I need a permit so I can get it.
Are you saying you have completed what had been asked to get it to
Up the
abate?
code and-
Yeah.
Like I say, I have some photos of my home if you want to see them.
It's okay. I think I guess, well, we need to finish the public hearing, but if we have questions for you in just a second, we'll ask if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Okay.
Just have a seat.
Yeah, and if there's anyone here else to speak on this item, and you might just want to sit right there. Yeah.
So are you needing?
Let's.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Anyone else here to speak in the public hearing? All right, we'll consider the public hearing closed. Is there a motion?
Well, question.
Let's go ahead and put it on the floor, and then we'll go to questions from the council.
I'm asking if she has time.
Yeah, that's what you can ask them too. We can
We did
amend
additional
that.
motion.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second. Second by Mr. Pike. Okay, any discussion?
There we go. So are you needing more time to get this completed? How much time? Do you have a timeline?
Well, I mean, I need a permit to get it finished.
Okay.
I got everything done, yes.
And you do have a plan in place that you can present to the community development department?
Go ahead and come back now that we're asking you questions.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
You do have a plan in place that you can present to the community development department?
Yes, sir, and I have some forms that I can take to them that I received from the plumber, and I just ain't got it with me now. I can have them.
So
I will have
if we were to table this for a month, do you think that would give you enough time to be able to present everything to the community development department and get everything at least in the works or started?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So typically, and I just want you to understand the sense of urgency.
I understand.
Because it would be a month away. We have, we don't have to tonight, so it just kind of depends on how this goes. But we have traditionally given time when there's an owner that is wanting to make the improvements. I think it's important, though, it never gets to this stage. There's a public issue going on. This is not anything about you or anybody that lives in the house. It's people around are making complaints or whatever. And so it becomes an issue for the general public around the house. So we just, it's important that I think if we do decide to go and give you another month, that you are in a lot of communication with community development and have a real plan and can show them how you're going to get to the point where the house can be in the shape where we don't have to go down this road. So we would rather not do it.
Exactly,
but
yeah.
sometimes things do get to a point we have to. And typically it's when there's no communication happening back to the community development department. So we want to help you generally. We've shown that. But I think you've had some time, so just make sure that you're communicating if we go down the road. Herman, yes, ma'am, go ahead. You have a question?
I was going to say the neighbors, I don't see how they could say, I the yard up. And
Sure, yeah, just typically I think this comes from a complaint. I mean, our folks aren't going in houses when, just randomly. So we need, typically that comes from some sort of complaint. So we got to look out for everybody, but typically we want to work. Herman, we do have a motion in a second. Can we just go, if someone were to want to table, can they make a motion?
You can withdraw that motion.
Okay.
I'll withdraw my motion and make a motion to table.
Okay, Mr. Pepper has withdrawn his motion and you wanting? Yeah, and withdrawn second from Mr. Pike. And there's a motion to table for
30 days.
1 month, so the first meeting of October.
That's fine.
October the 7th.
October 7th would be when we would take this up again. And again, we got to have a lot of communication with community development in between now and then. So we do have that motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion?
Ma'am, I think my only concern is you're saying you're calling for inspections, but you got to get a permit first.
Yes, sir.
You usually get the permit first. That way they know to get the inspection. So I just make sure whoever's doing the work
Yes,
is
sir.
getting the permit. Because I hate for somebody to come inspect it and it not be up to code and then we start all over again.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So what all has to be done to your home?
Well, the flooring and the painting and the plumbing, all that's already been taken care of. Just the smoke alarms. I thought they could be the battery operated, but he said they have to be the wiring or something. I don't know what he's talking about.
I would just, again, make sure you're very clear on what it's going to take to where we don't have to do this in a month. Josh in community development can help you understand that. And as long as we're not asking you, if it's an extensive list, we're not saying every bit of it has to be done, but you got to show some significant progress before the next time we take it up. So, or a plan. So.
Yes, sir.
And I assume y'all have her phone number and.
I'm going to make sure.
Okay. All right, any other discussion? This is a motion to table for 30 days, or 1 month. All right, roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye. That resolution 24-152 is tabled with a vote of 4-0. Resolution 24-179, approve request for special event retail liquor license for the Carnegie Visual Arts Center doing business as River Clay Fine Arts Festival located at 207 Church Street Northeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601 on October 25th, 2024, and 402 Lee Street Northeast, Decatur, Alabama 35601 on October 26th and 27th, 2024.
They have met all criteria, and we recommend approval.
All right, this is a public hearing. We'll open the public hearing now. If there's anyone here to speak on this item. All right, seeing no one here to speak, we'll consider the public hearing closed.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Pike. Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-179 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-180, approved request for restaurant retail liquor license for Kimmy's LLC at 107 2nd Avenue Northeast, Suite A, Decatur, Alabama 35601.
They've met all criteria, and I recommend approval.
All right, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone here to speak on this item, can speak now. All right, seeing no one here to speak, we'll consider the public hearing closed. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Pike. Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-180 is approved 4-0. Resolution number 24-181, approve special use permit for T-Mobile to modify equipment on the existing tower located at 2524 Point Mallard Drive.
Good afternoon, President, Council, Mayor. David Andrews with CMS. This resolution is for an application made by T-Mobile. It is to modify equipment on the existing tower there at Point Mallard Drive. They're currently providing service from this tower. It's a 190-foot monopole tower. This is going to be a site rebuild like the last T-Mobile we did, so they're going to be removing all of their equipment, including ground cabinets. They're going to be replacing it with 3 new antennas on the tower and 6 remote radio units, and they will be replacing all the cabinets on the ground. CMS has reviewed the application and recommends approval.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Pike. Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-181 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-182, accept Air Products donation to the Police Department.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Pike. Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-182 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-183, declare equipment no longer needed by various departments surplus and authorize disposal.
Jeremy Sherrill, Procurement. This is a list of trucks and tractors that we need to part with, no longer in use.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters. Pike. Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-183 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-184, award bid number 24025 to L&L Outdoor Services for weed abatement, being the lowest responsible bidder.
This is an annual contract, renewable for up to 3 years. L&L, we have met with them, Mr. Stover, Mr. Sloan, and myself, and we are confident that this fits the scope, and they are the lowest responsible bidder. We are recommending for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. Pike. Mr. Faruqi.
I think we talked about this last week, about the administrative costs. Do we have a breakdown yet on how that works?
No, I think the conversation was that the hard costs should go down because it's a lower bid. And then that team was working on potentially changing the administrative cost structure that currently exists, but we haven't seen, that would come before the council and we haven't seen it yet.
Okay, does anybody have that yet, Mayor?
Not to my knowledge. We're working on the budget.
Okay. So this is under resolutions. How does a resolution get put forth to the council?
In this case, Jeremy's team goes and solicits bids for whatever various item. When he gets those in the appropriate, way, then they submit a resolution. It goes through legal, finance, others, and comes on the agenda on this particular case.
Now, how do I submit a resolution to you all?
You would have to do it likely through a council member, and if the council member thinks it's worthy of coming onto the agenda, they would work with the teams to get it put on the agenda.
Okay, so months ago, back in April, when I put a resolution forward to admonish the mayor for his misuse of the pickleball facility and the subsequent 3-0 ethics violation from Montgomery that came down, could we have not put that resolution forward at that point, saved us all a bunch of time and embarrassment, had we been able to do that?
Yes, you can submit that. I did not think that should have come on the agenda. I think that the method that you went down with that topic is exactly what that ethics is designed for. It's not really, in my opinion, and you and I have had this conversation multiple times, putting something like that on the council agenda, in my opinion, does nothing. So that's why we didn't put it on there, but I think you went down the right, and I think that's why the process is set up how it is with the ability of citizens to have ethics complaints against elected officials.
Okay, but you are also part of that potential admonishment or censure, as my councilman alerted me to, and no action was taken.
Yeah.
And I'm getting used to that no action seems to be taken.
Yeah, I did not think that was worthy of coming on the agenda, that's right.
Okay, what about anyone's opinion on that resolution? Because it's exactly the same information that went to the Ethics Board.
I would agree. I don't think we needed to vote on it.
Okay.
I don't think we needed to vote on it either.
I feel the same way.
Okay. Well, you're all unanimous that doing nothing is the way to go. Thank you.
Passing that resolution literally would have done nothing. The method the method you went down did something. So take it for what it's worth. Thank you. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-184 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-185, award bid number 24026 to Target Specialty Products for mosquito chemicals being the lowest responsible bidder. Jeremy?
Yes, sir. This is an annual contract renewable for up to 3 years for the mosquito chemicals. We had 2 vendors respond, and we are recommending the lowest being Target Specialty Products.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second. Second by Mr. Pike. Ms. Hoffmeyer Wilson.
It's been a while. All right. So I'm not here to change anybody's mind about the biocides that are going to be purchased, because I think it's probably a fait accompli. But what I do think that we need to do as a city is to have a comprehensive plan for how we deal with any sort of pests. So to call this mosquito control and mosquito spray is actually inaccurate. They're biocides. And if anybody has not read Silent Spring, that was published in 1962, you gotta read it. This is a first edition. I grew up on cattle ranches, and my father did not spray, and I asked him why, because he was a lifelong Republican, and everybody around us did spray. And rather than giving me an answer, he went up to his bookcase and he took down this book, and at 11 years old, I read it. So it's at everybody's reading level. I digested it at that point. I also had never been to the great state of Alabama at that time. I was a Missouri girl. But I learned a little bit about Alabama because it is mentioned 6 times in here. And so So what I want you to think about is that when we do spray, we need to do it in extremely, extremely responsible ways. There's 2 chemicals on here. The one in the middle is not a big deal. It's just a larvicide, no big deal. But 5-FANN is actually malathion. So let's get rid of the brand names and let's talk about what they really are. Malathion is extremely toxic to aquatic life and mildly toxic to birds, but when they eat the other insects that have died from it as well, because it does not just kill mosquitoes. There's a no spray list by the city where if you have bees, which we don't have bees, I want to thank the city for putting us on the no spray list because we are at, sorry, I cannot speak extemporaneously these days. We're on the no spray list because we are registered with Monarch Watch as a Monarch Way station. This is really important for us, everybody, because we're so proud of our crane festival and everything, but we're also at the southernmost stop of the Appalachian butterfly migration route population. And Monarch Watch gives us about 2 more cycles where if we don't turn this thing around, what we really need is milkweed, but we also need to stop spraying indiscriminately because what we're finding is that the butterflies are dying, the bees are dying, it's not just mosquitoes. Other cities have taken on ways of communicating to residents of how they can control mosquitoes, remove standing water, do things like that. I'm sorry.
You're good.
I'm not here to change your mind about the bid. I agree, that's the best bid. I do have a question though about why Permacies, the 3rd one on the list, that is being bought in a large quantity. So my only assumption is that malathion is on hand already, which by the way impairs bovine cervix function. So it can verify we can think maybe it does so with humans. But Permacies is actually a synthetic pyrethroid, and it is highly, highly toxic. I really encourage you, if you have not read Silent Spring, it's still as relevant today as it was in 1962. And just for you, Kyle, I want to read just one of the mentions of North Alabama. Some of the most upsetting news for Southern sportsmen concerned the bobwhite quail. This bird, ground nester, and forager was all but eliminated on treated areas. And this is a predecessor of malathion. See, the thing is we just keep changing the brand names and everything, but it all comes down to the same chain. And so we need to think about that. If we want people to keep coming here, to see our beautiful cranes, to enjoy hunting, to enjoy our wildlife, we've got to do it mindfully. There is a time and a place. There were people saved from viruses and everything due to spraying, but we've got to do it smart. And I think that what I suggest we do is put together a public-private cooperation committee to really discuss how we can communicate better ways that we can naturally control mosquitoes and have a route map for when and where this is going to be sprayed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hoffmeyer. We do have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye. Resolution 24-185 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-186, award bid number 24024 litter getters to Osprey Initiative LLC, being the lone respondent.
This is an annual contract for the collection of small stream litter, debris, and trash collection devices. We have worked with Osprey since 2019, and we are recommending them for approval.
So moved. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second. Second by Mr. Pike. Ms. Underwood, did you want to some comments?
Thank you. Thank you, Council. My name is Donna Underwood. I live at 1210 Terre Haute Avenue, Southwest Decatur, Mr. Jackson's district. I'm here this evening to urge the City Council to approve the renewal bid for Osprey Initiative. As a Decatur citizen, I've been on multiple cleanups within our city, around Decatur, including Dry Branch, Betty Rye, and Wilson Morgan. I have seen the improvements since Osprey's been on the job. Thank you, Mitch. And Mitch and his crew, they walk all the nooks and crannies of the 5 creeks that run through Decatur. And believe me, that is a job. Not only are they hauling out the plastics, the paper, styrofoam, and I don't know how many of you have ever tried to pick up legacy styrofoam. It just disintegrates and blows all over. So, thank you. So not only have they done that, but they've pulled out tires, they've pulled out furniture, and I believe they have even pulled out a car that was partially submerged in one of our creeks that was definitely a legacy. By renewing this contract, you are going to not only make Decatur a better place to live in, but also contribute to making the Tennessee River a better place to use for not only us as citizens, but also for the people who come here. Decatur is known as the River City, so let's live up to that. Let's take care of all our rivers and streams. Let's all do our part and pick up litter in our community. And we all need to live by the motto of leave no trace. Leave no trace. Okay? That's what we need to do as citizens in Decatur, along with all the other things in Decatur. Okay? So I thank you very much. Please renew the contract. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Mitch, do you want to come just give us a brief kind of what you guys have done? Maybe some, I know you've got some stats.
I can't do better than that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But, since this project started, we have removed over 17 tons of litter from Decatur waterways. We used the EPA's escape trash assessment protocol to collect data on the material that we're finding. And like she said, the vast majority is plastic bottles, styrofoam cups, plastic bags, really light material. It takes a lot of styrofoam cups to make a pound of litter. And we've removed 17 tons. This is one of our more successful projects in the Southeast. And on behalf of Osprey, we just appreciate the city being good stewards of the natural gems they have up here. So appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Mitch. All right, we do have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would like to say, thanks to Mitch and the Osprey team, I've got to do a cleanup with them, but I've also just got to see some of the traps in place. They do a great job. It's always interesting, the data. I'll definitely support this. Reluctantly, I think I say this most times, I wish we didn't have to hire you, no offense, but I get frustrated with how much we have to spend. I think someone said it last week, but around $1 million a year on cleanup, and that's $1 million that could be going elsewhere if people would just simply leave no trace and not litter. It's not complicated. It's not a hard thing to do. We want to take care of our city. We want to keep it clean, healthy environment, but I will still support this.
All right, thanks, Mr. Pike. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-186 approved 4-0. Resolution 24-187 approved acceptance of public use and maintenance for Glenmont Acres Phase 1, Plat Book 2023, page 24.
Yes, Mayor, Council, this is a subdivision that has been completed and we're ready to accept it for use and maintenance.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-187 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-188 approved acceptance of public use and maintenance for Glenmont Acres. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-188 is approved 4-0. Resolution number 24-189. Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Resolution 24-189 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-190, approved acceptance. Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. McMasters. This is a different subdivision, Kinsey Meadows.
Yes.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Resolution 24-190 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-191, accept a special allocation from State of Alabama for Community Foundation of Greater Decatur Youth Entrepreneurial CEO Program.
Good afternoon, Dawn Roniker, Finance. This was a special special allocation of $75,000 from the state of Alabama and Senator Orr through a legislative act. The state set aside these funds specifically for the Youth Entrepreneurial CEO Program administered by the Community Foundation of Greater Decatur. The city has received the funds and is asked to be a pass-through for the disbursement. The Finance Department is just requesting approval to amend the budget so we can disperse the money.
Motion by Mr. Pepper. Second by Mr. McMasters. Any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster. Pike. Pepper.
Resolution 24-191 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-192, reclassify job classification from manager planning to director planning.
Good evening, council. This is a resolution to reclassify the job classification from planning manager to planning director of the new grade will be grade 25, and it'll be accountable to the mayor.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper.
Second.
Second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Mr. Faruqi.
Okay, we talked about planning at the last work session meeting, I think, and this position specifically. First, I want to congratulate the mayor on leaving no trace, because up in this job, you are leaving no trace of any effective action whatsoever.
Speak on this item, please.
Okay, and on this item, the status update on the Decatur One Plan was something we talked about last week. Before the new person comes in to take that job, I would offer, I know you're looking at that timeline to make sure that goes down as quick as possible. It would be wise as a body for us and the mayor to demand that a list of where we sit with Decatur One Plan collectively.
One Decatur.
Where do we sit with that?
One Decatur.
Where do we sit with that?
It's a work in progress.
I'm not talking he is. Jacob, I'm not talking he was. It's a progress.
It's a work in progress. It's a perpetual plan.
It's not perpetual. It's been in existence since 2018. We should have a level of understanding on where we sit with that plan. And before the new gentleman comes in here to take that job, he ought to be given the understanding, as well as the citizens of this city, where we sit with that plan.
Thank you. We do have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
I just want to take a minute. I feel like we've all addressed this at one time or another, and Council President Ladner, I know you and Councilman Pike and some others kind of grabbed this one by the horns this time after Lee had left. And Tommy, I know you're hoping this passes so you can finally get a little help in there, but I think this is much needed.
Mr. McMasters, any other discussion?
Yeah, I would thank Rochelle, the Personnel Board. I think obviously there's been a lot of discussion for years prior to this council, even with Councilman Jackson brought it up, I know, multiple times. It's a big need, and I think this is a right step in the right direction. So,
all right, any other discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMaster. Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye.
Resolution 24-192 is approved 4-0. Resolution 24-193, approved vacation request 55224 for Decatur Projects LLC.
How y'all doing today?
Good. Tommy, how are you?
Tommy Woods with the Planning Department, and the applicant is requesting to vacate Cherry Street, located in between Railroad and Bank Street. It is 0.3 acres, and it went before the Planning Commission August 20th.
So
it passed 5-2.
Motion by Mr. McMasters, second by Mr. Pepper. Any discussion?
My only question is, if this project never comes to fruition and we do vacate this, we can claw it back, right?
We would have to get it by eminent domain, I would have to think. Yeah.
We're retaining an easement, not the street, okay? But yes, the answer is correct. If you want the street back, you'll have to negotiate to get the street back. The engineer, I believe, is here You agree with that?
I do.
Okay.
All right, we did have some, I know Mr. Jackson couldn't be here. I think some of his comments last week are still his thoughts from what I understand. I'm just trying to pass through his thoughts. He was not going to support this item, and the reason was he wanted to get to a point where we could make sure the project was going to happen before vacation, which I understand that thought, but I think that creates a real challenge from the platting, which would create basically an impossible challenge with the financing method. And the fact that we can go, well, that was his thought, so that was why he's not going to support. What I would have said in response is, I think the fact that we can, if the project does not happen, we can go back and get the road under city ownership. So that I think we're accomplishing that, but to get this project, we've got to vacate the street. So, and the owners own all parcels on both sides of the street.
They do. They own everything now as of a recent purchase. So it is vacated by law. They're going to get it.
Yeah.
They are retaining the full width of the easement. The right-of-way is 40 feet. We're retaining full width easement 40 feet. There are utilities in there that will not be relocated. So that's, it's going to remain effectively a street. It's just going to be improved, and the building is going to be around it and over it on the Bank Street side. And you're exactly right. And I would just add that the developers have $4 million in this project. They're not walking away from it.
Yeah. Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Pike.
Abstain.
Pepper.
Aye. Resolution 24-193 is approved 3-0 with 1 abstention. Resolution 24-196 approved $5,000 sponsorship for Dia de los Muertos event.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pepper, second by Mr. Pike.
Yeah, this is a budget adjustment for $5,000 for the Day of the Dead event. Happens every year. It's November 2nd this year.
All right, any discussion? Roll call.
Ladner.
Aye.
McMasters.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Pepper.
Aye. Resolution 24-196 approved 4-0. Next council work session will be held on September 9th, 2024 at 5 p.m. Next regular council meeting will be held on September 16th, 2024 at 10 a.m. We will move into our public comment section of the meeting. Same method. We'll do 3 minutes with a minute to wrap up, so 4 minutes. And we'll go in order. Please no profanity, and then we'll go from there. I'm just going to go in order. Sarah French was first. Sorry. Yeah. Well, they signed in for agenda items, so yeah. You were third, but.
Okay, first I'm going to respond to the mayor's answer earlier when he said he didn't see need for a public statement about the 2 racist signs that were placed in our city. That is a true statement to who our mayor is. That is a statement to the person that he is. That answer was unacceptable, and I appreciate you, Jacob, who did make a statement, but the mayor should have. I would like to bring to the attention of the citizens of Decatur, as well as the council here if you are unaware, the city has lost their liability insurance, meaning the deeper that the police department choose to harass people for no reason and make false arrests and false charges against people is just going to hurt Decatur City in the long run, who does not have insurance to cover this. I feel like the police department should review all arrests starting September 29th and forward and be certain that they were all lawful arrests, rather than placing our city in further debt by taking people to court who were unlawfully arrested, but rather targeted because they support the movement Justice for Steve Perkins.
I'm sorry.
I would also like to comment to the Mayor Tab Bowling. You tried to make an agreement that you will resign in January if the protests stop at your house and if we no longer have public comment. And that is nothing more than a tactic and a trick to the citizens of Decatur into not exercising the right for freedom of speech. which you have already took from us at one point, and we fought to get back. So the fact that you would even try to make this deal to take freedoms away from the citizens again just shows you haven't learned right from wrong. The only reason you want to stay till January is to set yourself up on retirement and benefits. We don't need you to resign in January. The city of Decatur needs you to resign today. Your neighbors want you gone today. I was with the group of people peacefully protesting 2 Friday nights ago. We walked our normal path, and we were walking by Mellow Mushroom when it was his friends that let us know to stay there because he was inside Mellow Mushroom. It wasn't our people that knew that. It was his people that knew he was in there and wanted us to stay and continue to protest. All sides are tired of your lack of actions, and we want you to step down. I have heard that your friends have personally told you this as well. And I have also heard reports of big businesses coming here that have now changed their mind because of how much distress our city is in. You said you wanted to leave the city in good health and in good record. I don't believe the city or you are in good health and in the current situation. And I don't believe the city will move on until you are gone. If you love the city and want to see the city move on from all of this, the first step is on you. Justice for Steve and justice for Decatur.
Thanks, Ms. French. I do want to just comment on one thing. I don't think we are in the budget process when we renew insurance, including liability insurance. So that would be something we talk with different insurance carriers about. So I'm not sure that we've lost our liability insurance.
We have not.
Okay. All right, Mr. Faruqi.
So last week, we had a pretty heated discussion during comments about the personal board hearing, and Ms. Sandlin's and Mr. Alexander's role in doing some of the investigation. And it was suggested as a potential resolution to do something to change the policy and how that works. Have you made a decision on whether that's going to happen or not?
No, I have not.
What needs to be brought to your attention to do that?
Well, I don't fully understand that process and how it's supposed to work by policy.
But you're the L&O liaison officer for the personnel board.
And that would fall under, well, some of that state law when it comes to the way the personnel board functions.
Right.
And that's what I'm not sure what we actually have jurisdiction over, but certainly something we can look at.
Okay, I'm not going to show you anything. I would ask you to look into that.
I didn't ask you to.
Okay.
So that's certainly something I can look at.
Okay, and then that was possibility again to legislate a change to policy for the city of Decatur.
If now, like I said, and I think you know this, a lot of that is determined by state law when it comes to personnel issues. But if there's something we can do to improve it, I can certainly take a look at that and see if there's a way to make it even better.
Okay. Two folks were at the personnel hearing. Two of them heard how that process was done. Two of them heard that Ms. Sandlin took the initiative from a call that came in anonymously that drove that product down the path.
I understand. That if there's a way to make an improvement and it's under our jurisdiction, obviously I would move that forward. If I feel
And Herman, is it within our jurisdiction?
I'm not going to. The answer to it is, he's already said it's established by state law. He said he will look into it to see what we can do, and I will assist him.
There's state law, and then there's City of Decatur policy.
And state law trumps
if it deals with how this thing is being run.
That's correct.
And does it?
He just got through answering your question. I mean, I'm trying to be supportive of it. He's answered. He said he will look into it. I will assist him to see what, if anything, can be done.
Okay.
Mr. Faruqi, you don't have all the facts. You only have parts of the facts, and that's where. And I can't give them to you presently because, as I've said before, we still have two pending personnel board hearings. But once that's over, I will try to inform you even more, okay?
I would love that.
Okay, well.
Now, quick question for everyone. What are your thoughts on Tab's win-win negotiations to resign?
I gave my comment. That's his decision. We'll continue to, or I guess personally, I'll continue to serve in the role I was elected to serve in. And if he decides to step down, I'll serve in the role I was elected to serve in, which would mean changing roles.
Okay.
So.
I can't say much more than that. It is a personal decision for him to make.
Well, there's the negotiations that went on. That's what I'm really talking about.
What was no part of that. Actually, the mayor and I have not even discussed it. So I don't know, other than what I've read in the Daily and what I've been told. I haven't had that conversation with him. It's his decision to make. Doesn't impact how I do my job as a city councilman. I'll continue to do what I'm doing, depending on whatever decision he makes.
I'll continue to do my job, which is what I was elected to do. Personally, I think it's insane that he held negotiations with somebody regarding resigning over a position. That is that doesn't set very well, in my opinion. However, I believe that he was elected to his position to maintain his term. I know that, in my opinion, we only agreed to 4 years. We were given an additional year by the governor to move our elections off the presidential elections, to my understanding, is the reason.
That's correct.
So I think that he served his, agreed to a 4-year term. However, we were given an additional year, so, but it's completely up to him. It's a personal decision, and so if he chooses to resign, so be it. I know the public has called for his resignation multiple times, but again, it is a personal decision. He was elected to that position, so.
I could regurgitate what they all said. I mean, it's a personal decision that he's going to have to make if that's what he chooses to do.
And no opinion on how the negotiations came forth, because it was not one where they went to him. He called that meeting to occur.
Which is exactly why I said I find that insane. Anything else?
Not from you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You're my favorite.
All right, Mike Stovall. I'm actually a little offended by that comment.
Well, I will say that you haven't had the option of receiving commentary from Mr. Pepper on Mr. McMaster's Facebook.
Yeah, I'm sorry I said anything. Come on, Mike.
Okay, so with these, it really wasn't a negotiation, I wouldn't call it that, but I've been getting phone calls all weekend, all this, so you news people, if you want me, you better get it right now, because I'm running up out of here. So I've been getting phone calls all weekend, and the thing is, when the mayor passed this down, and I know he's listening to me, he said, he told the person or told people that it would be Billy would step into those shoes as the mayor. No, we know that it's supposed to be Jacob, but that's what he told the people, and that's what sold it to them, and that's what they came back and told us or told me. So what I'm saying is that tears up the trust. That tears up, because now it's like, well, no, he said this, and no, he said that, or this and that, or whatever, because we already having trust issues with you all. I don't agree with you. I don't know if I believe in your third party. I don't know if I trust I don't trust your police department. I don't know who I trust up here. Because now that the mayor told us something totally different from what he told someone else, so now I'm confused right there. So how can we negotiate when half of the truth is out there and half of it is not? So somewhere there's a dead cat on the line. And I need to know the truth. Was it that Billy was going to go up as mayor, or was Jacob going to go up as mayor? And I know what the right thing is. It's supposed to be, if Jacob's the president of the board, he's supposed to go up as mayor. So unless Jacob stepped down or something happens, I don't know how that's supposed to be. And I'm just telling what because I'm the community liaison, so I'm supposed to report this. So I'm just telling you what the community is saying. And the community is upset about this because it should have been done in a way where the truth. Everything else, such as what's out there, I think it's okay, but we gotta have truth and we gotta have transparency, because that's been the issue all along. Thank you.
Hey, Mike, question.
Yes, sir.
Did you participate in the negotiation?
Yes.
You did participate in the negotiation. So he did say that to you.
What?
The mayor said that Billy Jackson would take over.
No, the mayor did not say that to me. He said that to another party. It was a negotiation before it was a negotiation.
Okay. So he didn't announce it to everybody at the table?
No.
Okay.
And it just makes me think that it's a dead cat on the line. I don't know if you all got together and decided Billy couldn't do it. That's what's in my mind, or what happened.
All I can tell you, Mike, is you're right. The structure is very clear. But we will re-elect council president the last meeting of October to take office in November is how we've done it every year. But unless that changed, that's the only way. I have been in zero discussions about this outside of meeting with some of you all, and the mayor called me on Monday morning last week to inform me he was having these discussions. Didn't say a whole lot. I believe Herman was on the call. I don't think I said much at all, and that's all the conversation I've had. So I'm doing this job, and if something changes, I'll do the other job. So, all right, Christy Love.
Oh, you're funny. You got jokes.
Good evening.
Hey, Christy.
That was Carlton's opening statement.
Hey, guys, let's let Christy speak.
I have come to the realization that if you've never had to fight for your rights, you really can't appreciate the Constitution. No one appreciates the United States Constitution like minority voices. No one appreciates the forethought of our founding fathers, knowing they were imperfect, to make provisions for amending the Constitution. Most of us in this room wouldn't be citizens if it were not for those amendments. No one appreciates democracy like those who don't want to be told what to believe and who they can love, what they can do with their bodies, or that they don't belong. See, I stand for the pledge because there's nothing wrong with the pledge. It is the disrespect of those who have always had liberty. It is the arrogance of those who can and do cheat justice. And it is the ignorance of those who misunderstand all to mean people who look and think like themselves. This is my country. So to anyone who can hear my voice, I implore you to vote. Vote, yes, vote. But the Justice for Steve movement is the perfect example to prove that voting is the bare minimum of participation in democracy. See, we can vote and the person we want is not elected, or we don't like either candidate, or we get who we want and he is incompetent, one who wants to step down instead of step up. It is our duty as citizens of America and Decatur to hold the elected officials accountable to the principles of this country. I am so proud to be a part of the movement since Kay Ivey at Doubletree. I am so proud of the young people who are leading it. Okay, I am so proud of the young people who are leading it because they will not settle for a resemblance of equality. They want true equality. Whoever becomes mayor or who fills those council seats needs to know that we are in it for the long haul. Decatur will never be the same. Come here to serve every community, not just the Northeast side, not just the rich, not just the educated, not just those who support you politically, not just the blue. Every community. If you want to work in our police department, know your job is to protect and serve every community, not police citizens of color. You will follow policy or we will call you out on it. It is no more good old boy mentality. We are truly becoming one Decatur. If you don't like it, get out. Justice for Steve Perkins.
Sierra Taylor. I've got to go in order, sorry. You were first on the last page.
So my first question is, I want to know each one of y'all's feelings, take on the fact that the judge dismissed the charges on the third Friday 3. How do you feel about that, Jacob?
Ask me first.
Well, you're the president.
Yeah. Mr. President. I don't know the details of all of those cases. In fact, I didn't know the lady, but obviously I know Alvin, I know you, I know Derek. I would say I would support what the judge decided. I think that things that I saw, I think she got that right. So I believe, from what I saw, I support the judge dismissing those charges.
Go.
I think that shortly after that, there were comments made when I think you came in here and asked our opinion on the event. Where
Yeah, that's why I'm
most
back
of us
asking, because
most
I
of
was
us up
told
here
that
questioned
y'all
it.
wanted the facts first, or y'all wanted to see how it went.
Yeah, I think the judge took everything into consideration, what was out there, what was seen, and we got to trust that decision.
Hunter?
I think we did I think the judge did exactly what we expected her to do on the council. This council appointed that judge to her position, and she upheld the law to what she believed was the law, and that's her job. So if that's what she believed is necessary, then that's what she believed is necessary.
Do you feel it was a good call, bad call?
I believe that her judgment is what's important in this situation. If she feels it was a good call, then it's a good call. It's her job.
And that's kind of the whole premise of the thing, is that there's systems in place. And part of this system is, there's that judicial step. And if judge saw it needed to be tossed, then that's the process that it works, and I respect that decision. They had all the facts. Of course, I saw stuff, had some issues with it too, but I can't disagree with the judge's interpretation of the law, on which something I know nothing about.
Okay. I will say I strongly advise that maybe the police department, maybe Todd Pinion, review some of these arrests, because there's definitely more. And, we're going to fight it, of course. Everyone knows that. We're not going to stop fighting. But there's definitely more that needs to be dismissed. And I can't say all, because I can say that there might have been some that stepped out of boundaries. But I can say there's a lot. For instance, right now, there's one sitting in Morgan County Jail. He's been there since August 17th. He is missing critical time in his newborn child's life. He lost his job behind bogus charges that he got. They went, arrested him. He was scared. He hid. Y'all remember me talking about that. So because he hid, because he resisted, they ended up coming back months later and giving him a resisting arrest charge that revoked his bond. He's in jail until at least Friday. So it's wrong. He's missing so much that he should not have to be missing. He has a newborn child. He lost his job. This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt for a long time. My question also to you, Jacob, is if you do have to step up as the mayor, which is, most likely, are you going to continue to let Rochelle pull the strings and control the city, or are you going to do that for yourself?
If I had to take that role, we would certainly look at all departments, make sure we're doing those efficiently. And I will tell you that city employees that I know do a really good job. But I'm not in the day-to-day. That's not my role right now. But if that were my role, I think there's improvements to be made across the board, and we'll make them.
And my last thing is I want Tab to understand, because I know he watches these, I know he's listening. I want him to understand that his name will not stop coming out of my mouth until he corrects the wrongs that he has done, until he apologizes to the public for the wrongs that he has done, until he fires Todd Pinion. I will not stop showing up. I've been outside his house and got pneumonia. I've been outside his house and got beat up and took to jail when I shouldn't have. So I'm not going to stop showing up. I'm not going to stop talking about what this man has done to this city and these people in this city, because he's got a lot of wrongs to right. I support him resigning wholeheartedly, but I think he should right his wrongs, or at least try to right his wrongs. And I understand the charges, he can't order them dismissed, but he can recommend, just like Todd could. So he could help out there. He could apologize. He could definitely apologize to the Perkins family. There's a lot that he could do that he needs to do before he resigns, or this will not stop for him. I don't care where he goes. I will be his worst nightmare.
Thanks, Sierra. Dr. Owens.
Good evening. Good evening. I want to talk about leadership and lies. For over 35 years, I've been a trusted servant and leader in my church, my career, my community, collectively. Leadership has always been especially important to me, beginning with my parents. I've had the honor of being led by some of the greatest leaders one could be blessed to have. Good leadership at its core is about the ability to influence and guide others toward a common goal or vision. And I've always tried to model the leadership of Jesus Christ. A good leader is someone who has integrity. A good leader has self-control and exemplifies goodness and kindness. A good leader inspires and motivates their team, communicates effectively, and is accountable for their own actions. A good leader places himself in front of their people to show them how things should be done and to protect them. A good leader sits and stands in hard places and endures tough times. A good leader faces storms, challenging times, and criticisms head on. A good leader takes the heat and faces the fire. A good leader doesn't abandon those they lead. A good leader doesn't prostitute the gifts, abilities, or good name of others for their own profit or gain. A good leader has values of loyalty, honesty, dependability, and commitment. A good leader is responsible and truthful, and they have the trust of those they lead. As a mother, Christian, citizen, community leader, and friend, that's something I place in high value, a good name. One of the surest ways to run a good name is to break people's trust and to betray them and to be untrue to them. So imagine my shock and extreme displeasure to wake up on Friday, August 30th, in another state to read an article sent to me from a concerned friend that was printed in one of the local print media where a leader stated they had discussed a proposal for their early resignation with me, Pastor Claudette Owens. That could be the furthest thing from the truth. I was floored. I never had any discussions with the leader about their resignation. In fact, my only communication with this leader in the past 11 months or so has been right here at these Decatur City Council meetings. When I was made aware that this leader wanted to talk to me about the potential resignation, my answer was, and still is, I choose not to participate in any secret games. I said that because over the past 11 months, I have found the leader to be the opposite of a good leader. Additionally, I would never allow myself to be used to silence the voices and circumvent all the arduous work the Perkins family, the protesters, and the supporters have done to achieve justice for Steve. Many of them have lost their jobs and homes, and they've been arrested and harassed and threatened and assaulted for standing up for justice. Even more hurtful was the local media actually printed the story directly naming me without reaching out to me to verify the statement. And at the same time, per the article, they reached out to a city employee named in the same article to verify some facts and truth relevant to their position. Now, it has been brought to my attention that the print media has added an addendum to the original story. However, the addendum is so buried so deep at the end of the original article, it simply states, Claudette Owens on Friday denied that she had any conversation with Mayor Tab Bowden about resignation proposal. However, the original printed statement has already sparked controversy, caused me disgrace, ridicule, and induced ill opinions of me. Also, the addendum was printed so far buried beneath the original story, it's hardly even noticeable. And the wording in the addendum looks like I'm a common criminal, denying a common crime. My character. Okay. And I wish I could say the print media fully complied with the written request and retraction I sent them, but they really didn't. In fact, I initially received a curt, short response answer, which amounted to a no. It was to my understanding that the addendum was only added after someone of influence stepped in. Whoever you are, thank you. And you know what? The leader's oral statement was both false and damaging to my reputation and my integrity. It is a lie. And I mean, it is a lie that has demeaned my character. To have that leader intentionally decide to use my name and community role and character to further their goals was a deliberate and calculated. I believe the leader's intent in his official capacity was to use my name and character as leverage in his resignation scheme. As a Christian and spiritual leader, I'm very aware how the Bible says we should deal with these matters. But since the leader made a public statement about me, a lie, and it was public printed, he made it a public issue. And therefore, after much prayer and counsel, I feel led to make a very public statement. My family, my church, my community, and affiliated organizations mean the world to me. This leader's oral statement and its printing has caused me irreparable harm in my relationships and affiliations within this community, with the Perkins family, within my church, and with other organizations, and with local clergy. And I tell you, I am very upset. It has caused my husband's character to be questioned. My children have been affected. The leader's false statement has placed me in a position of being viewed by some as untrustworthy, fake, disloyal, underhanded, a crippled, a hypocrite, untruthful, and a liar. And all things I seek daily not to be. We live in an age when people feel free to say whatever they want to about people, defaming their character, shredding their reputations, destroying their relationship without feeling any remorse, as long as their own agendas and desires are met. One in intentional life from a leader who was placed in a position of trust and service to leverage his own personal desires and goals, and its printing has damaged everything I worked my entire life to gain, a good name. Proverbs 22:1 says, a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold. Well, thanks to this great leader and the printed meter, I no longer enjoy having an irrefutable good name in this community, in my church, in affiliated organizations. The damage has been done. We are past simple apologies, and I could not stand silently by and allow my name and character to be destroyed without a response. I will do everything ethically, legally, and morally available to me to protect whatever I have left of this name I worked so hard for. So I pray for God's favor and guidance in this matter as I move forward, and I pray the leader will resign immediately, and a good effective date, in my opinion, will be Sunday, September 29, 2024. At least that might give the Perkins family something to celebrate.
Justin Shepherd.
I had questions in the speech ready, but I just can't, so thanks.
Thanks, Justin. All right, anything else from council?
Hey, I would like to point out there was one remarks one year that Jay was wrongfully taken to his death by Marquette. Oh, God. So let's have a
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Yes, it is.